I'm quite sure you all have been following the developments in the West Asian region quite keenly. For the last 24 hours, the region has been on the boil. On 28th February 2026, Israel launched barrage of missiles into Iran, attacking Tehran. It is said that the Supreme Leader's palace, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's palace, was also targeted. What we saw in the last 24 hours was a retaliation from the Iranian side. In the last few hours, we have seen Iran retaliated by firing a barrage of missiles into Israel and also into other areas in the West Asian region. Many Gulf states were targeted because US bases were present there. I'm quite sure you've been following this news keenly. But one of the stated objective of the United States of America was changing the regime in Iran. It has been a dream for Iran and USA for a very long time, and perhaps they are one step closer to it. Why? A news has come that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is no more. This was announced by Trump on Truth Social, the social media platform. Although I do not believe a lot of news from Truth Social, but a lot of media houses have also confirmed this. Trump says Iran's Khamenei is dead, but the news or the confirmation has also come from the Iranian media. Iran has confirmed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead, and a 40-day mourning period has been announced in Iran. The area is still in the boil zone itself. We might expect some sort of retaliation from the Iranian side, but in this video lecture, we'll understand what exactly happened, we'll know about Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and from that particular information, we'll try to assess what is to come next, rather who is to come next. What is the process of selecting of Iran's supreme leader? We'll try to understand. Let's begin our discussion. As I told you, news has come that Sayyid Ali Khamenei, commonly or popularly known as Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, or the supreme leader of Iran, is dead. He was the president of Iran during the period of 1981 to 1989, and after 89 he has been the supreme leader of the theocratic state of Iran, the Islamic Republic or the Shia Republic. He is the longest serving, or rather I can say he was the longest serving leader, supreme leader, president of the Iranian Republic. The position of supreme leader, it holds a lot of power. Of course, the name itself tells you he is the supreme leader. There will be a president, there will be other people, there will be clerics, but supreme leader, he holds the final control over the state institutions, which includes armed forces, judiciary, because everything is connected to the religion. Khamenei was 86 years old. He was born in 1939 in Iran in an area called Mashhad, and he came from religious family. His background was religious, so there was a lot of theocratic setup in his thought process itself. He received traditional Shia Islamic education, and that is why after becoming supreme leader, he rather made Iran as the leader of the Shia world. He became quite active into politics in the early age itself and became extremely active in politics, especially opposing the Shah dynasty. During the 1960s and 70s, he was continuously opposed to the Shah monarchy in Iran. And eventually, when the revolution happened, please remember, the revolution was not carried out by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei itself, because there is a lot of misconception, especially among the students, that it was Khamenei who led the protest or who deposed the Shah. No, please remember, he was very closely aligned to Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, and Ruhollah Khomeini was the first supreme leader of Iran after 1979 revolution. And Ayatollah was quite close to Ruhollah Khomeini, who was the leader of 1979 Iranian revolution. After the revolution, the supreme leader, the current supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he held a lot of positions. He was the president of Iran from 1981 to 1989. And after Ruhollah Khamenei's death in 1989, the Assembly of Experts, they chose Ayatollah Ali Khamenei as their supreme leader. Please remember, the constitution itself was amended later on when Ayatollah Ali Khamenei became the supreme leader. He amended the constitution because his appointment was made despite being from a very lower clerical rank. And since then, since 1989, he has been leading Iran. Finally, that reign has ended. Now, if we want to understand what is going to happen next, what can we expect next, who is going to be the next successor, we need to understand the legacy of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And we can understand that from three specific words. First one is centralized authority. Now, this is true for Iranian political setup right from 1979 itself. There has been a centralized authority and the power is concentrated at one particular place, that is the supreme leader. So during his period, he has strengthened the IRGC, the military wing of Iran. He has had strong control over this particular wing, the Iranian Revolutionary Corps Guards. He also curbed internal dissent. Many of the leaders or many whatever opposition came towards the supreme leader, they were curbed. The dissent was not there at all. Yes, there is a structure, there is a setup, there is a theocratic constitution, there are different articles for that constitution also, but supreme leader has a lot of say over the entire state affairs. He followed a confrontational foreign policy. Again, as I told you, Khamenei had a Shia education right from before, so theocratic mindset was already there, and that was quite seen in his confrontational foreign policy as well. He wanted to make Iran Shia leader, and perhaps he did also. You must have seen the entire West Asian region. It sees multiple fault lines. There is a fault line between Jews and Islam. That is why Iran versus Israel is always seen. Apart from that particular fault line, there is also a Shia versus Sunni fault line. In the West Asian region, the other Arab states like Saudi Arab, UAE, they follow Sunni religion, or again, Sunni part of Islam. And Iran is the Shia leader. And because of this confrontation foreign policy, there have been tussles within the West Asian region, and there has been a tussle beyond the West Asian region also. So within West Asia region, there is Shia versus Sunni fault line, and beyond West Asia, it is the Islam versus Jews, or Islam versus the West, we can say, Iran versus the Western Bloc, predominantly Israel and Israel's ally, United States of America. And multiple times we have seen confrontation. And here, his confrontation foreign policy can also be seen through a very ambitious nuclear program. And this is one of the reasons, again, for the attack by the US and Israel under the code name Operation Epic Fury. It has been said that Iran is quite close to building their own nuclear weapons. They have quite advanced nuclear enrichment facilities. And this has been a bone of contention between West, especially USA versus Iran. This is the problem. And Khamenei had very strong views towards this. Apart from that, confrontational foreign policy, it did also have bearing on India as well. You must have seen that many a times Khamenei had given statements regarding Kashmir also, which do not align with Indian thought process or Indian policy. All right. Apart from that, there is one more concept, that is hardline conservative ideology. Now, this can be seen in states' affairs. He had influence over the entire branches of the states. And there is a lot of theocratic ideology or theocratic things that we can see in his rule itself. You must have seen that the entire time period from 1989, or I can say that perhaps from 1979 itself, from the times of Ruhollah, later on Ayatollah also, you will see that there have been waves of protest for rights, especially from the women's side, human rights activists, etc. You must have seen there have been waves of protest, and he has also survived many attempts at assassination and many attempts at regime change. Finally, he is dead in 2026. Now, why did we discuss this mini biography of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei? Because we want to understand what exactly is the political setup in Iran. And what can we expect, or what can we learn from this is probably similar thing is going to happen. As I told you, on 20th February, US and Israel launched Epic Fury operation. It was a joint operation, and now they have declared that Khamenei is dead. The Iranian media has also confirmed, and there is a 40-day mourning period which has been announced. The first thing that we can conclude is there might be more confrontation between Iran and the Western blocs now, but what is going to happen inside Iran? Who next? If we look closely about who next or what next, Iranian constitutions, two articles, Article 107 and 111, we don't need the numbers, but there is an Iranian constitution also. It is a theocratic constitution where succession rules have been announced. For choosing a supreme leader, there is something called as the assembly. This assembly consists of 88 clerical members who are appointed every 8 years. So these clerics will hold the assembly or office in assembly for 8 years. Okay. Now, this assembly is responsible for appointing, supervising, and if necessary, even dismissing the supreme leader. So, they will be the ones who will be selecting. So, this assembly consists of 88 clerics. And Iran's constitution, whenever we look at Iran's constitution, it ties leadership to the senior Shia clerics. Who are the Shia clerics? These 88 Shia clerical members, they will choose the supreme leader now. And what can we expect? This, we can expect the clerics to look into this particular thing and choose somebody who might follow or who might continue the legacy of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And as you can see that what can we expect? It must be some high ranking mujtahid, again probably from these assembly of experts or someone who has good clout over the politics or internal politics of Iran. Iran's theocratic political system, strangely, it does not designate a fixed successor. It is not based on inheritance. It is not a kingship. Say, for example, it is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei now. When he goes, his son or his relative will become supreme leader. No. The supreme leader will be chosen by the assembly. So, who can be this particular person? This is purely speculative discussion one needs to understand. We already have current president Masoud Pezeshkian, who is the current president, and his chances of becoming the supreme leader are quite low. Currently, he is running the temporary leadership because you do understand that the current president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, and the judiciary chief, Ghulam Hossein Mohseni Ijai, these two people were in the core group of the decision making, and since Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is no more, the temporary leadership falls with Pezeshkian and Mohsen Ijai. But both of these players, they might not have an upper hand in becoming supreme leader. The three potential candidates who can become supreme leader, the strongest claim goes to Mojtaba Khamenei. He's son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. As I told you, there is no inheritance based succession, but Mojtaba Khamenei, he is a Shia cleric who has great influence in the hardline circles in Iran. And reportedly, he's also part of internal succession discussion, and he is part of that 88 member council, and he has very strong ties, especially with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And he also has his own insider network. So currently, what can we expect is most probably the next supreme leader may be son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Mojtaba Khamenei. But there are other contenders as well, other strong clerical contenders who have huge role in internal politics, like Ayatollah Alireza Arafi. He's a senior cleric and member of Assembly of Experts, and he's also part of Guardian Council, and many people accept his views, accept his leadership also. So he also has a very strong, I wouldn't say claim, but very strong possibility that he might become the supreme leader. Apart from these two, there is Hojat al-Islam Mohsen Qomi. He's a close advisor to Khamenei and regarded as one of his most trusted advisors, even trusted than his own son. So Hojat al-Islam Mohsen Qomi, he also has very deep ties with the Shia clerical elites, especially the assembly of the 88 members. So he has very close ties with that assembly as well. Let's see what exactly happens, but these can be the possible contenders to become supreme leader of Iran. And if they become supreme leader, we might see the continuation of this legacy for sure. All right. Let's wait and watch what exactly happens. We'll keep a keen eye on the developments in Iran. But there is another possibility also. Okay. One possibility that we discuss is of continuation. Why? Because one leader is gone, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is gone. So there might be some successor who can choose to follow similar kind of thought process, similar kind of foreign policy. There can be a possibility of revolution also. And this is what the Western bloc is banking on. If you see Trump's appeals, if you see Trump's Truth Social, his so-called own news propaganda means, okay, so he has called people of Iran to take the control of the government. He says that this is perhaps the best chance now that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is gone. People of Iran have the best opportunity to take power in their own hands and change the future of the country. And that is what the Western bloc is relying on. And it all depends on how quickly things unravel in Iran. And I'm quite sure that in the upcoming days, we will see a news about the election of a new supreme leader and a sort of retaliation, more further retaliation from Iranian side towards the Western Bloc. And I think the Western Bloc, that is US and Israel, they would be ready for it, because if you understand the details of Operation Epic Fury, the military advisors who advised Donald Trump over this, they suggested that it is a high risk, high reward operation. That means the risk of escalation would be high, the risk of, I would say, collateral damage would be high, but it would be high reward, and perhaps they have gotten their reward of eliminating the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei right now. What happens in Iran has become the cynosure of all news channels, cynosure of everybody. So we'll keep an eye on that particular development. If any news comes up, we'll have a discussion on UPSC Simplified for sure. Let's wait and watch. Thank you very much for watching this. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on this particular Telegram channel @RahulSai222_UPSC. Especially if you're a UPSC aspirant, do follow this. I also have a contact number on which you can contact me. 88412262 is my contact, where you can directly drop me a message. Thank you very much for watching this. I'll see you in the next one. Jai Hind.